G'day, folks. This is your real estate housing market review for the Kootenays area for January 2026. The Kootenays is experiencing something that's a little bit different from some of the other areas. The Kootenays consistently, right through the last quarter of 2024 and all through 2025, has basically led the interior. If you look at this absorption over here, you've got in January of 2025, 15%, 19, 22, 21, 20, 19. So in either the very high range, the high part of the range for a seller's market, or actually over that 20% hash mark, which is just kind of an estimate of over 20% is a seller's market. 12 to 20 is a buyer's market. Below 12 is 12 to 20 is a balanced market. Below 12 is considered a buyer's market. So it's been basically leading the way. The Kootenays has been doing slightly better than the other areas. And then in December of 2025, we saw a fairly decent drop back from the July absorption. So you had that 20, 21, 20, 19, 18, good, strong absorption, high end of a balanced market. And then it starts to come down. 13, jumped to 22 in October, 17, 16, and we're right down to 10.96% in January. And so that indicates that there's something going on, but it really isn't substantial until we see, like if February comes in at like 10 or 11 or 9%, and then March comes in at that, then we know there's something going on in the Kootenays that is bringing that market down towards that buyer's market range. If you look at the sales, they sort of respond in the same way. You got 58 housing market sales in January of 2026. Last year was 88. Even if we do a running average for 3 months, you've got November, December, January. The average was 97 sales. November, December, January, the average was 80 sales. So it's actually, the running average is up slightly. But the price, let's have a look at prices here. The running average for November, December, January, November, December, January, the running average was 577,000. So November, December, January of last year, the running average was 615. So prices are inching down a little bit. The main indicator with all the zones right now that is telling me that we are going to see a little bit of improvement in 2026 is this inventory. So just about every area, except for the lower mainland, is illustrating this inventory that has shot up. So you look at the inventory back in 2023, is 400, 300, 400, 500, and then it starts to go up, and it goes up to, 4 digits, 1,000, and then it starts to come down in October of 2024, but basically stays pretty strong, and you see it rising up again in April, May, June, July of 2025, and then it starts to come down. So that inventory has been inching down for the last 4 months. What that indicates is the demand is increasing against the incoming supply or the overall inventory. So that tells me that the Kootenays is going to be either fairly flat or maybe inching up in their marketplace in 2026. But that's sort of the story for throughout British Columbia and possibly Canada, as consumers kind of get used to what's going on in the United States, and the promise of either the foreign buyers ban being taken away completely or being altered to allow some foreign buyers like universities, people in mainland China and India buying for their kids going to university in Canada. Maybe that's going to loosen up in 2026. We don't know yet, or in 2027. But I think you're going to see a very mild recovery or a flat market in the Kootenays in 2026. So that's the Kootenays market real estate housing market review for January of 2026.